I know the Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment is working through Enterprise Ireland to establish a construction technology centre this year to bring together research, expertise and industry to look at innovation in the built environment, but the urgency of this cannot be overstated. We very much need to move towards sustainable materials and sustainable construction practices. So, Minister, I wish to ask you the position regarding the Construction Technology Centre, the timeline for its establishment and the role it will play as part of the wider Housing for All strategy.
Mr. English.
I want to thank the Deputy for the question, and I would agree with you around the urgency in this area as well. It's something that we would have been working on for a long number of years, and I'm glad it's coming to a stage now that it will be up and running very soon. Again, the important issue of the adoption and use of new technologies in the construction sector in the context of delivering the government's ambitions in housing for all, but also in relation to energy efficiencies and decarbonisation of the built environment. As the Deputy is aware, Housing for All is our plan to turn the aspiration of home ownership into a reality, to ensure everybody has access to sustainable, good quality housing, to give stability for renters and protection for the people at risk of homelessness, and to build on the work of rebuilding Ireland from 16 to 2021. Addressing the high costs of residential construction, along with relatively low construction sector productivity and innovation, is a key element in Housing for All and will be crucial for the plan to succeed. There are a range of actions in Housing for All which target the cost of construction and improving productivity and innovation levels in the sector to make sure we have a sustainable business looking forward for the next 20 or 30 years, where we know we need to build 300,000 plus homes. The establishment of a Construction Technology Centre is one of these key actions, and my department is currently working on this with Enterprise Ireland. This initiative also supports Project Ireland 2040 and the work of the Construction Sector Group Innovation and Digital Adoption Subgroup. Work on the new Construction Technology Centre is on schedule to be delivered at the end of this year. Enterprise Ireland's process to select a host organisation is now at an advanced stage. Once established, the centre will serve as an innovation hub which will bring researchers and industry together to drive innovation and technology adoption. As a reflection of the crucial importance of improving the affordability of homes, the centre will have an initial focus on residential construction and innovation in housing. To further promote innovation in the residential construction sector, Enterprise Ireland are now offering a range of support to these businesses, including innovation vouchers, digitalisation vouchers, innovation partnerships, lean business offers and others. The new Construction Technology Centre, together with these schemes, will stimulate the development and adoption of new and innovative technologies, enabling builders to build better houses at a lower cost and higher speed and a greater energy efficiency. Taken together, these initiatives will help make good on the ambition set out in the Housing for All plan to ensure that everybody has access to sustainable, good quality, well-located housing to purchase or rent at an affordable price, and very much in line with our climate targets as well. And just to give you an update, the call for proposals would have ended at March, it's just gone.
Thank you very much for that, Minister. So what I'm hearing in terms of timeline for establishment, well, you referenced very soon at the start of your contribution, and then midway through you said the end of this year, so maybe you might be able to give me some additional and more hard and fast timelines on that. It strikes me that there's a suite of government measures that hang together on this to do with housing. Clearly Housing for All, also the Climate Act is of central importance. The Circular Economy Bill, which is seeking to, I suppose, acknowledge and to value the embodied carbon that's within all of the objects in our society, but buildings in particular I think is important. And also the Town Centres First, which is seeking to bring life back into our town centres. And that will require not just new construction skills, but I think a revitalisation of old construction skills. And some of the skills that we're actually lacking in the construction sector, as we need that full range of skills to bring particularly heritage and vacant properties back into use in our town centres.
Absolutely, Deputy. You raised there are others that I hadn't a chance to cover, but that's exactly what the Construction Technology Centre will cover. Its overall aim is to identify the optimal consortium of research-performing organisations in the Irish ecosystem that will deliver productivity and sustainability for the Irish construction and built environment sector through research, development and innovation, with a focus, of course, on skills and everything else that you touched on as well. Just in terms of the timelines for the proposal, which is what you're asking, thankfully the money has been set aside. To Enterprise Ireland, there's a €5 million budget set aside to drive this over the next couple of years. And the call for proposals would have opened in February. They closed at the 4th of March, so this is open to all our educational institutes, research community to look to lead on this and to collaborate as well. So on the 7th of March, the proposal eligibility checks and clarifications, it's underway at the moment. The evaluation is going on during March. By the 25th of March, there hopes to be presentations by the various consortia to the evaluation planning teams. And then the selection of the winning consortium will be made sometime in early April. Well, the plan was early April. I think that's going to be slightly behind. but that was the plan anyway. And then May, the preparation of documents for presentation to the EI committees, and then the proposal to be approved sometime in June by the Board of Enterprise Ireland. So that means it should be well up and running then by the end of the year, Chair.
Yeah, I very much welcome that additional detail, Minister. I think everybody in this House acknowledges the need to begin delivering housing at speed and at scale, but also in a manner that's sustainable. And those three things have to go together. I think this new construction, the Construction Technology Centre should be looking at things like next generation easy assembly housing units. We should be looking at research supporting modular construction. We should be looking at new materials and the evaluation and performance of those materials. And I also think to unlock, as I said, a reference to Town Centre First policy, to unlock those town centre units, and I'm thinking of particularly of the above the shop units, we need to be looking at technologies around fire safety, around acoustics, and also around structures. As I said, there'll be a need for new skills, but there's also a need for a renaissance in old skills as we try and unlock those vacant and derelict properties, particularly in our town centres.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, Deputy. I mean, we do set out kind of 5 key industry challenges, and you covered most of them there. One is the productivity, affordability, and the cost. The quality and safety, the collaboration within the sector, the labour shortage, skills and training, and the sustainability. And they cover all those. And you referenced the Town Centre First initiative, and I would totally and utterly agree with you. That's something that I think was a lot of effort to bring a number of government departments together to commit to dealing with Town Centre First, kind of following on a lot of the advice and guidance we received from the Scottish model, but also building on initiatives over the last couple of years that different departments have been trying. But to bring the focus of government, everyone together to really focus on town centres, a lot of opportunity there to develop the future and sustainability of those town centres, but probably clearly, as you reference, is the option there for vacant properties, over the shop properties, to be brought back into use. And there's been a number of schemes to encourage that over the last couple of years. The rent and repair scheme, which hasn't been drawn down to the level it should have been, but my view hasn't been promoted. But we are looking at new initiatives to encourage people to do that work through the tax system, through grants and so on. But also, as you say, to take some of the complications out of it, or to clarify the regulations. There is a document printed by the Department of Housing a couple of years ago, which is a guide to restoring a vacant property back into usage. And it's a very useful step-by-step guide to anybody who has this property, to guide them through the process as well. And I encourage anybody to look at that, because we're trying to make it as easy as possible to bring these vacant properties back into use, because they should be in use. But just to point out, in most cases, Chair, as is in Tipperary and everywhere else, they are in private ownership, and we're trying to unlock them in different ways.